Okay, what we've added is we've added a ton of parachutes because Eve has an atmosphere, so we're going to actually land and use the parachutes to slow us down. So we're not going to need anything to, engine-wise to slow us down. We added a parachute on the top. We added some science modules on the structure here. We added the obvious, the main thing we're going to need is solar panels. So we added plenty of those. We have a little communications thing so we can send the data back, which is good. Now we need to add more of the actual modules that will get us the science that we need. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, like so. Okay. I kind of want it. I kind of want it on this side, and we'll turn that off. Okay, so we'll add one of those. We'll add one of these, and one of these. Now, some of these can be done over and over again, but just to be safe, because I don't know which ones they are, I'm just going to add more of them in case I end up going to a different biome. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to add MechJeb to this. And MechJeb, we could set up for this thing just to go explore on its own and get up to certain spots that otherwise, would take forever to drive this thing to. So that's kind of the idea. So we're going to put those on that side there. We're going to need a bit more batteries just to be safe. So what I'm going to do is on the front side here, we're going to do this. So it's going to go on that side as well. And then we're going to do ones towards the outside. So we're going to rotate it like that and there. And then one more there. And that should have given us 3 on that side. Yep, good. The last thing that I want to do is, how do I, actually, you know what? I'm going to remove the center battery, and on either side, I'm going to put this, and these should extend, yep, down towards where the ground would be, which is cool. And this is, it's kind of a just in case thing, right there would work. Yeah, so on both sides. So just in case I get a couple Kerbals stuck on Eve, I can at least get them to this, and then they can drive this sucker around, so they're not completely boned, although that probably will happen. Okay, a few final touches here. We need just normal solar panels, and these are just to make sure that we're not screwed if we forget to extend these. We'll extend them, but every little bit helps, and it does make the thing look a little cooler too. So it helps aesthetically to, make it not so boring. We'll do a couple more on this side, like so. So we'll do 4 on each side, and that'll be plenty of these solar panels. Don't really need to add any more of them. But what we do need to add is a bit more lights, and then we'll add some structural integrity to it. So as far as lights are concerned, how do we want to do this? Probably another 2, just like these are. And facing out a bit. Those look good, okay. Probably a couple more in the front. That will, which lights? These ones, okay. On either side. Oop, that's the wrong direction again. I gotta remember it's, there we go. Kind of lined up, is it? It's hard to tell. Oh gosh, let's just start over. It's the easiest way to do it. And rotate. Gosh, why can't I do this properly? There we go. And no, that's, nope. Oh, come on. Oh, it's fine. I'll get these working. Okay, that looks like it works really well. I added a reaction wheel in there. Didn't really need to, but I'm going to anyways. And then from the bottom, that's where it'll decouple and everything. So let's do one last test, make sure everything's working. We'll add the structural struts, and then we should be good. The struts will keep everything from wobbling around, and we'll make sure that as we're landing, things will go according to plan. So resources, let's just make sure our power consumption is good. Because honestly, as long as I have exposed panels, it will eventually become day wherever I'm at on Eve, right? So eventually, if I run out of power, it'll get more. So it's not that big of a deal with the way that we've set this up. So let's try to flip it. Nope. I mean, it is heavier. It's turning a lot less on a dime. Yeah, that's fine. And the lighting is kind of weird on it. But, ooh, if I do... Oh! Okay, so if I do like a weird turn on the side, can we rotate this? Can we fix it? I don't think we can. Yeah, let's go back to vehicle assembly. It removes the reaction wheel, because I think that had something to do with that. It just kind of flipped it. I mean, otherwise, the thing is pretty balanced, so I don't see why it would have any issues. Let's add our struts, too, just so we can test those out. We're going to add... we want that to line up, so we'll do there, up to there, and we'll do there to there. Cool. Okay, another one here to there, and they don't have to be perfect, but they just have to be enough that it's holding it. And the last one are on here, I think. Actually, how do I want to do this? Probably here would be the best one. To there, there to there, and on the last side over here, right to center, up to there. Okay, so that looks like it'll hold quite well. Okay, one last one just because I want to be safe here. There to there, which will hold that all together quite well. And we want some flex in the rest of the stuff, and it should work properly that way. It was when I was turning to my right that it seemed to want to flip, I think. I think it was to my right. It's either to my right or to my left. We'll figure it out. Okay, lights on. Let's get some speed and let's figure this out. So gently down here so we don't pop a wheel. Good. Let's pick up some speed. Yeah, seems fine now. We just need a bit more speed and we'll see if that works. I could have been like on a weird edge. You just got to be careful when you're driving it around, actually on Eve. Yeah, it's pulling a right-hand turn that seems to give us a lot of G's. We'll check the other one as we get up more to speed. We'll get to 20 meters a second. I think that'll be fair. But like I said, I could have just been on a weird angle. Who knows? Okay, so... okay, that's fine. How about this way? Get back up to speed. Yeah. We should be good. I think this is good to go, as far as I'm concerned. There's only one last thing to test, so revert flight to vehicle assembly. We're going to set an action group here with all of these. So action groups, we've done this before. All right. Custom 1 is going to toggle the panels, those panels, and those panels. And we'll launch and see if they pop out without breaking. Because I've had it where I've put something on a planet, popped out the panels, and it just explodes. It is pretty cool how they all go at once, though. Okay. And they appear to be working just fine. If the sun was up, they would point to wherever the sun is. Cool. So that works. Okay. I think we're good to go. We just need to put it on a rocket. And here's when it gets a little tricky, is you basically need to add a decoupler at the bottom of it. So a stack decoupler pretty much right at the bottom, but I may need to add some type of structure to get it to work properly, which it looks like I may have to. So I need a solution to this problem. One that's not going to go beyond our wheelbase. Maybe this? Like that, but actually probably the other direction. Yeah, like that. Perfect, so that adds a flat surface for this to attach to. Oh, nice. Love it. Love it a lot. Let's add a rocket to it. If I can find one that'll work properly. Nope. Nope. How about this? Ooh, gotta zoom out a bit. There we go. And then probably some asparagus staging here. How do I want to do this? Like, okay, let's do these first so I can get an idea of what it's going to look like. And then get some fuel on there. That looks fine, okay. And then the last thing, obviously, are the engines. Okay, so that should get us into the atmosphere just fine. We need some aerodynamic stuff. Make it look better. Yeah, let's set up our asparagus staging like so. So from here to there, and from there to there. Not too complicated. Same thing on this side. Here to there, and there to here. Okay, so those are all at the end. We have that decoupler, then it drops down into all of these. So those will fire up, and then we do our staging for this. So this decoupler and that one. And then those two go. Make sure that's the right one. Yep, those two go. And that's all burning just fine and dandy. So the last real thing that we need is a... How do I want to do this? I'm thinking just a decoupler like this, followed by one of those, followed by the BFR. Which, have I saved it? Asparagus, atmosphere probe. No, I haven't saved it, so I'm going to have to make one real quick and then save it that way. Okay, I've decided to go a bit crazier with it this time. So we have our typical booster setup that we did at the bottom. Then we have a couple orange tanks. We'll get that all working properly in a second. Then we have our typical engine with the bigger, fuels. And then I replaced the asparagus that I did with another orange tank and these. It's overkill, but it's hilarious overkill, and I love it. That's kind of the best part about Kerbal, so you may as well go overboard, right? So we're going to not asparagus this, so these will just kind of go on their own. But what we do need to do is set this up so this will go properly, because I have decouplers here, so these will pop off and then these will pop off almost right after each other. But the problem is I've done this before in my other game, and these tend to, instead of falling off to the left, they fall off towards the rocket. So we actually have something that helps us that we haven't used yet. Let me find it real quick. I think it's under propulsion. Yep. So these should explode outward, and we'll do a test on that. They should, but I'm not entirely too sure. So let me finish setting up the structure of this and then add our boosters at the bottom. Okay, we've got it. Everything's set up. It's all structurally intact. It looks like it's not going to bug out. I think I have all the staging set up. Let's do a test launch. So this launch will launch up as far as we can get it. And then we're just pretty much going to blow the entire thing and then see if our lander lands properly and doesn't explode when all of the parachutes go. So that's kind of our idea here. Is turn on SAS, fuel all the way up. Everything should boost properly. Yeah. Oh, that is just glorious. That is so glorious. So what's going to happen is the boosters will go first. We'll pop the boosters off. I think we could do with one more set of boosters, like right in the center. That's just me, though. Boosters will go first. Pop the boosters off. Then these boosters will start going, and we'll pop those off one at a time. I'm noticing that these are actually dying rapidly, which means, aha, see, this is why we do this. Vehicle assembly. It's because it's not pulling in the fuel from the top. It's actually a pretty easy fix. So what we're going to do Just go into this, go to the fuel line, and oh, I probably should do that again. Make sure that's set to all of them. And it should have done it. All right, here we go. Save and launch. I have this set up on a previous game of mine, so I think it works by doing it that way. I don't think I had to do anything clever with getting the fuel to go into the bottom one, but I'm not too sure yet. So let's try this again. Resources up, SAS, and launch. It's not quite as spectacular as I could have it by maybe doing, like I said, that extra set of boosters up the center. I think that would be hilarious. Yeah, it looks like it's working properly now because you see this fuel is going down quicker than this stuff. So this stuff is these, and obviously the boosters are that. So we should be well above 10,000 meters before we have to get, you know, the orange tanks off. But we will obviously see. So far so good though. And we're about to lose the boosters. We're entering 12,000 meters, so I estimated that pretty well. We're going to be at like 15,000. Okay, get rid of those. Those get rid of just nicely. We're going to start rotating our craft here. Just going to go full on horizon. I don't have to be full burning like I am. I'm just wasting it out as much as I possibly can to try it. Okay, so that seems to be working properly. The next thing we have to test is the explosion of the orange tanks away from what we need to do, which gets a little iffy. Looks like it's working fine, though. Okay, those are out now. Okay, so we'll pop those. Next thing, okay, well, that didn't work. But we can get rid of the rest of it just like that, and that seems to work just fine. And then we'll launch this one. Cool. That will get us our orbit. Probably add another large fuel tank rather than the small one. But it seems like that'll get us an orbit just fine. And then this should get us to Eve just fine. Because remember, we're not making it back. So we're just trying to get enough fuel to get there. And I think that'll work perfectly. So now let's just cut the engine. We're going to test other things to make sure it's all working properly. Those engines go fine. Okay, good. Now the last thing that we want to test, we actually probably should be facing retrograde. Otherwise, we could have a slight issue with this entire thing. So slow it down. Ooh, not slowing down enough. I could just do that and get a little bit extra control. And that works just fine. Cool. Okay, so we'll do that. Now we will ditch this. And that seems to work as well. The last thing we need to do is come in for entry and see if this is going to function the way that I want it to. I'm going to put the brakes on, otherwise the wheels are just going to go nuts. Actually, they may continue to go nuts anyways. No, they stop spinning. Cool. All right, let's speed it up a bit and start coming back into the atmosphere. I could probably put up the solar panels and test that out, but I'm not going to because I know that they work, so I'm not too concerned about that. And our electrical charge isn't going down super far, super quickly, despite us not having any solar power coverage on the bottom here. But it looks like it came apart perfectly, and we're starting to go death spin, which isn't good. But, you know, I think the second I pull the chutes, it will fix itself. Remember, we're not trying to... Oops, I actually clicked off my screen there. And the game probably locked up on it, so let's do that again. So I'm not trying to make it super, you know, like super smooth coming in. But as long as we pull our chutes and this happens, which it does, perfect, then we should be fine. and we'll speed this process up and just make sure it doesn't come apart once we hit the ground. All right, we're actually going to land on the water, but this is the most important part. Cool, it doesn't break apart. Looks like we are going to be fine as far as landing on Eve is concerned. Cool. Revert flight. Back to vehicle assembly. We'll double check that we saved it. And then that's where we'll wrap it up. Save. Perfect. Well, with this behemoth in the background, I think it's a perfect time to say that we'll see you guys next time.